So welcome back, guys. Monday morning briefing video, episode number 16, and this is actually getting recorded on a Tuesday. We got back in the shop yesterday, which was Monday, intended to do my Monday morning video like I usually do. Just kind of got started cleaning the shop, lost track of time, and honestly kind of forgot about it. I haven't been in here very often over the last week. Like I said, during that week between Christmas and New Year's, we're usually in and out of the shop, kind of piddling around, taking care of some projects at home that usually get neglected during the Christmas season just because I'm always at the shop. So I just try to usually tend to kind of relax during that time, and I don't come in too much. So but we're in the shop today, first week of 2021. I'm hoping this year is a lot better than last year, and I know we still have the COVID situation going on. We've still got all that kind of going on. I've got a couple of buddies of mine that have had it. I have quite a few friends that have had it, and a couple of them didn't have really any symptoms at all, and a couple of them, it was kind of touch and go there for a little while, and not really any rhyme or reason. One's in his 70s, one's in his 40s, and then another buddy of mine, he's probably in his late 30s, and he's getting over it right now. But it's a tough situation, and we've all just got to do what we've got to do as far as just, trying to stay safe, clean, distanced, all that stuff. I think all those things work to some extent, just like anything else. Hugging and kissing on people, you might get it, and this thing seems like people that even do everything, that one friend of mine, he's a paramedic, and he's in official PPE most of the time, and he ended up getting it. So it's definitely not something to take lightly, but it is something that we've got to just do our part and stay safe. But hopefully 2021 will be a lot better, and we can get through this and get this thing behind us, and that way we all get back to something that somewhat looks normal. And but I'm excited about 2021. I think it's going to be a fun year. I know for DG Leathercraft, it's going to be a lot of fun. We've got a lot of cool stuff happening. We do have the clicker and power splitter on its way sometime this month. It's not on a truck yet, but hopefully sometime this month we'll get those machines. Again, I know COVID's got a lot of that stuff slowed down, so we're just going to be patient and do what we do. We've been 15 years without a clicker and a power splitter. We'll be fine without it for a little bit longer, but it will hopefully be here soon, and then we're going to have a lot of fun with that here on the channel, and as well as some benefits to you guys from that. I haven't done a whole lot yet this year. I usually do a lot of planning during this first week and that week between Christmas and New Year's. We had family in, so there wasn't a whole lot of planning going on. There was a lot of hanging out and barbecuing and doing that kind of thing. As you saw in last week's Monday morning briefing, I just kind of did it at home. I was going to run up here and do one, and I thought, that's dumb. I've got the pit going. I'm standing right here. I've got a mini computer in my pocket. Why not just do it? It's 2021. We can go ahead and do that now. So we went ahead and just shot that. Hope you enjoyed that, but it was a little different Monday morning briefing video. And but we've got a few orders that were kind of pushed. They were kind of not Christmas, but ordered before Christmas. And so anyway, we talked about that before. But anyway, those orders will be first on the docket for today or for this week, and going into next week, get those done and kind of get those off the list. And then we'll go forward and continue working on our saddles. We're cutting out saddle parts today so that I can get these two saddles moving. So we'll be cutting out rigging parts, stuff like that. We'll kind of go over that in a minute. And again, we've got quite a bit of repair over there that we're going to get started doing. I've got a plumber, my electrician and plumber is going to be coming to fix the lights. And I've been saying that, but he's coming. He's going to get here. They're just real busy, and it's not an emergency for us, and he's got a lot of bigger things going on. So as soon as he can get here, he'll get here and fix that. But I'm also going to have him run water so that we can have our washing station back for the saddles, because the saddles I'm having to wash at the house, and it's kind of a pain in the butt. I much prefer my bathtub. And once we get that set up, I will show you my washing station and kind of how we have that laid out, and have had it laid out for 15 years for washing saddles. It makes it really nice. But it's basically just one of those big porcelain clawfoot tubs, and we built a rack for it, so it sits up a little bit higher. It keeps you much drier when you're washing saddles than soaking your boots down and everything else if you're washing them on just a saddle rack in the yard. But I'll show you all that, and that way you can check it out and maybe build something similar to it. And if you do a lot of repair and washing saddles, it's good money. I get $150 to do a clean oil and polish on the saddle, so what we call a clean oil and polish. Some guys are getting $2.25, $2.50 to do one of those. We probably should go up a little bit. Maybe we will, but we don't do enough of it to really worry about right now. But it's decent money. It's just soap and water and a little elbow grease, and you get it done, and it's kind of a fun job, and it's a good job for learning the ins and outs on saddles and what some people do and what some people shouldn't do as far as building saddles. And so you get to dig into a lot of different types of brands and custom saddles as well and stuff, and kind of see where stress points are, what breaks, what usually wears out, things to look for, and that'll help you if you ever aspire to build a saddle. You'll kind of have that information and kind of know from the repair aspect kind of where you want to make it a little bit better, where maybe this won't wear out as easy or something like that. Now if you're looking behind me here, you can kind of see one project that we worked on over Christmas. My little boy asked Santa Claus for a dollhouse and cowboys. It's kind of a weird combination, but that's what he asked for. And I asked him multiple times to confirm that that's what he told Santa, because Santa was kind of questioning me, and I was like, man, I don't know. I made a check with him, and I made sure, but he said, yes, a dollhouse and cowboys. So I said, okay. And so when Santa was out filling his sack there, it's hard to find a dollhouse that doesn't look like a dollhouse for a little boy. But luckily, Santa was at Hobby Lobby, and they had this. And it turned out, it's turning out, it's not done, but it's turning out pretty cool. Let me get the box. And I found this. Santa did. Santa found it. But it's a log cabin. And it's a dollhouse. I mean, it's traditional dollhouse. The thing Santa didn't know when he got it was that it's a legit dollhouse. It's not something that just you plug and play and kind of piece it together. This requires a miter saw, you know, or some kind of saw blade to cut these boards. It's not, you know, it's not a Lego set. Me and my son spent 2 or 3 days working on this thing, getting it to this point. And we've still got a ways to go. I've got all the windows. He broke one, of course. I told him that they weren't going to stay in there, but he couldn't wait. He had to play with it. He had his little cowboys, and he was wanting to play with it. He stuck all the windows in. Well, one of them fell off of there, and it shattered. But I've got the windows. I've got the windows here, and so they just kind of, I guess we'll glue them in. I haven't gotten that far yet. I'm actually reading the directions. At first, I was just going to start throwing it together, but when I opened the box, I quickly realized that there wasn't going to be, like, you're building a house. It's pretty cool. But anyway, that's what we worked on, and it's a fun project. He's enjoying it, and so we've got quite a bit to go. But I mean, it's down to, that's the shingles. It's a bag of actual little shingles that we're going to have to put all up on here. So it ended up becoming a bigger project than I originally thought it was going to be. It's going to have a, as you can see on the box there, it's going to have a porch and all that stuff. So it definitely was not something, and I contemplated too when Santa brought this Christmas Eve. I thought I should probably go ahead and put that together for Santa, since he's got to go, he's busy. And I thought, well, I'll put that together and have it sitting there when little boy gets up in the morning for Christmas, and he'll have his dollhouse. That'd be a good idea. I'm glad I did not do that. I didn't have time because we had to do other stuff and get other things kind of ready to go and help Santa unload and stuff. And so I did not do that. And when I opened it up a couple days later or whatever, we started working on it, I thought, man, I would have been there all night long, and he would have woke up to just a pile of wood, because this took some time. It took some time. But anyway, it's fun. It's kind of a weird little project to have on the bench at the saddle shop, but really it's not. I've had more oddball stuff in here before that really doesn't go with saddle shop, but for some reason it ends up here because it's a good workshop, I guess. You got pretty much all the tools I needed were in here to do. So, but we had a good time. We're having a good time. We're still not done. I don't know if we're going to paint it or stain it or what. I'm thinking about using leather dyes on the wood, but I'll probably just buy real wood stain and do that. But yeah, it's going together good. It's a fun little project. I had to kind of pull it off the bench and get it out of the way because we have work to do, and I have things to cut out, saddle parts and whatnot. And so I don't need a dollhouse in my way while I'm doing that. But he comes in and he's got to play with it already a little bit and stuff. And honestly, I should probably just leave it like that because he's probably just going to break something. He's already broke one window. He's just going to tear it up. I should probably stop right there and say, there's your dollhouse. But I can't. I got to finish it. I can't leave it like that. It's not done. So we're going to try to get that finished maybe this weekend. We'll keep you posted. Maybe next Monday morning video I'll have it done. Doubtful, but maybe. Another project I'm working on, and I just I just needed to kind of work on something yesterday after we got through cleaning and everything, and it was late in the afternoon and a little too late in the day to really start a project. I thought I'm going to just brainstorm on this bag idea that I have for my wife. So I have an idea to make Claudia a bag, and she knows about it. It's not a surprise. And so I kind of picked out what size, you know, kind of visited with her on how big we wanted to make it and all that. And so I'm just mocking up some paper, you know, basically just some poster board just to get an idea. But we've had these coyote hides from some couple coyotes that we've harvested doing predator control at the ranch where we lived, and we try not to let anything go to waste. Just like the byproduct from the leather, we try to at least eat most of it, you know. And so with the coyotes, you know, we went ahead and kept the hides. I've got a few of them out there. I've got some still in the freezer I need to send off and get those tanned. And we do a little bit of trapping and stuff as well. But the coyote hides are really, really pretty, and this one in particular was one that she shot, and I wanted to make a bag, and my intentions was originally to do a bag where just have the inlay of the hide coming all the way around the bag, and then have the ends of it tooled, and I want to hang the tail off of one end. That's kind of my concept, just first off concept. Whenever we got this one back, is kind of what I thought about doing with it. And they're beautiful wall hangers just to have hanging, and we've got a bunch of hides hanging in the store. But this one I wanted to go ahead and make a bag out of. I want to try it. I haven't done a lot of fur stuff at all. Haven't done really any work with fur, and being a leather craftsman and that, I want to do something with some fur and see how it goes and just see how it turns out. So it's gonna be all veg tan leather. I'm going to do veg tan end caps here, I believe, in the top. I might work in some oil tan, but I really want to tool it up as much. I want to make it kind of fancy looking. It'll be a piece that pretty much lives in the store and be on display, but if we go somewhere like a leather trade show or something like that, or some event, and she wants to carry the bag, she can just take it out of the shop and carry it. But instead of running it all the way around, like my intentions was just to cut out, you know, open up this and then cut the whole center, and then wrap that around the bag. The problem is the hair will lay down on this side, and here's one of the challenges with dealing with fur that I've already found. And like I said, I don't have much experience dealing with actual fur, but the hair on this side will be laying down or pointing down, but then when we get here, the nap's going to be pointing up, and so the hair would be up, and so I imagine that it would end up ruffling and just looking bad over time, especially if that's the side that's to her body as she's carrying it. And so ideally we'd rather have the fur laying down on the bag. So then I said, well, what would be easier just to do two inlay panels like this, you know, one here fur, and then I can tool all around here and just inlay that piece in there so we've got fur there, and then do the same on the other side. Then I can cut here, the nap's going this way, so I can cut a piece here and then go right here and cut another piece. Then both panels, the nap is pointing down. So that's kind of my plan. If you do a lot of stuff with fur and you have any suggestions, shoot me an email, because I also don't know how I'm going to inlay yet. I think I can sew through the fur and you won't see the stitches, but then I thought, well, I'll leave some feather around there and then shave that with like trimmers or something to get that hair gone, and then my inlaid piece will go over the top of that bare area, and then when I sew that, it'll sew it in. I just don't have any experience with fur. I've been researching a little bit, but in general, I just kind of want to go it alone and just see what happens. You know, I'm sure I'm going to screw something up. I don't think that I'll do anything that this hide won't still look beautiful on that bag. So, but it's not a very big coyote. It's, you know, a southern coyote is usually smaller. You get in the southern area, the hides are usually smaller. In our winter season, their fur is not as thick as they are in the northern areas. Like when you get up around Wyoming and Canada and Alaska, obviously, and Montana and stuff, the fur up there is much nicer just because of the cold conditions. I mean, Christmas Eve here, it was 80 degrees outside. We weren't even wearing jackets or anything. So, and that's not always the case. We do get some cold weather, and it does get down to the 20s sometimes, and sometimes down into the teens, but not for very long. And so, just from a fur standpoint, most of the animals that you would think are fur bearers, like bobcats, coyotes, and stuff like that, their fur just isn't really as nice and thick as it is up north. But for down here, I think it's a pretty coyote, and I think it's it's going to look pretty good on that bag. So we're going to give it a shot. And I work with leather, so might as well start incorporating some fur too and see what happens. But I really like it. It's going to be a neat bag. I think it's going to be a neat piece. I'll keep you posted on that. Haven't made it very far on the deer. I wanted to get panels cut out. I may get that cut out today since I'm going to be cutting out saddle parts too, and I'll have probably some pretty good scrap areas where I can get those panels. I've measured them, and so I know what size I need. So I'll be kind of shooting a little bit to add to that video for doing that. But we're gonna get that going as well, because that's gonna be a pretty piece. But we got back in the shop on Monday, like I said, and I just had to clean. This place was a wreck. I had stuff everywhere and just scrap leather all over the floor and everything else, which is not out of the norm. Most of the time it looks like that, but I like to start fresh, new year, kind of clean up, organize a little bit, make some mental notes of some of the things I need to build. I need to build a deal above my bench. I'm going to build a shelf over there that has a light underneath it, because that's kind of a dark corner. And so I'm going to build a shelf where I can get some of that stuff up off the bench and on top of that shelf. And then underneath there I'll be able to put just a nice light to where it gives me a little bit more lighting over there. But for this season, I just ended up using one of my studio lights, and yeah, it worked, but I don't want to burn out them bulbs just tooling all day long on it using that light. So right now I want to show you though one of the signs that a buddy of mine built that Claudia got me for Christmas, and it's in the shop, and I think it looks cool. So Claudia had this sign made for me for Christmas from a friend of ours, Andrew, and he did the other sign that was in here. He's done the cutting boards. We've talked about him before, but this one in particular, I mean, he cut that out and then hand painted all of that on there, and I think it turned out really, really cool, and I really, really like it. Used to have one years and years ago, long story, but it's gone. I guess I mentioned it a few times, and she wanted to surprise me, and she had Andrew replicate that sign just based off of, you know, a description and kind of what I told her. But I think it turned out really, really cool, and I really like it. And so we went ahead and took the other sign down that was here that he did, and I felt like this sign fit better right there between these two deer. And then we'll find a new home for the other sign, probably today, tomorrow, sometime like that. And there's our last Snowman update, double lot. No more waiting. Christmas is over, so we'll end up packaging him up, and maybe next year he'll make an appearance again and give us our Snowman update every week for the Christmas season once that starts up again. But we are far from that, and we've got an entire year to get ready and to work and to look at our business and to kind of see where we were during the Christmas season and what would have made that season a little bit easier, and then try to implement some of that stuff now and get into practice with that in preparation for next year, whether it's giving people longer lead times, you know, maybe trying to schedule them out just a little bit better during the week and practicing as if we are in Christmas, so that you get on a little bit more of a system and you can more appropriately guesstimate how much work you can take at Christmas time based on the time that you have. That's what I try to do every year. I'm not good at it every year. I end up just kind of getting crammed up at Christmas, but every year I also say I'm going to try harder. And that's what I'm going to try to do this year. I'm going to try to get more of a systematized deal, because with us, I want to leave plenty of room in there to continue to do videos for y'all during the Christmas season, and as well as turn out projects and do that kind of thing. But real quick, I got a few Christmas cards in the mail, and I may have gotten more, so if I didn't get one of yours, I'm sure it's here. Our mail is kind of in a pile, but I just had a few of them here. So here's one card that we got from a fellow named Huey, and he said no relation to the dog. But anyway, really nice card. He gave me a little sticker in there as well. Very nice. Thank you, Huey. And then we've got a card here from Mike and Linda, which they're our electrician here. And so we got a little card from them and some little banana bread, so that was good. Lots of good snacks. And then we've got a card here from Buck and Jay Leather and Beads, and we really appreciate y'all sending the card. But it's very nice. We probably got more of them, and I just, like I said, I this morning I couldn't find them, but we want to thank everybody that purchased some hoodies or shirts or caps from us. Thank you so much for the support in 2020, and coming into 2021, we're still rolling. Everybody's still asking questions. Sounds like everybody's getting on their leatherwork program and getting things done and getting geared up for the year. So we want to thank y'all for that. And we'll keep doing what we do, which is creating videos and doing that. The Monday morning briefing videos, I think, are here to stay. Everybody seems to really, really like them, so we'll try to continuously make those better. But we're going to get back to work today. We're going to get some projects lined out and start thinking about the different types of projects that we are going to create and some different things that we're going to do for the YouTube channel. Oh, and real quick, We've been doing a bunch of updates and stuff on the website. So now if you purchase from the website, now that we've got more merchandise, we were just selling the caps. It's basically the only thing we had. We just did a flat rate shipping deal. It's very complicated and very beyond me to understand all the workings of that website as far as how some of that stuff works. But it was easy enough for me to just put a flat rate deal on there, so it just charged a flat rate, and it covered most caps. If they were going pretty good distance, it might have not charged enough, but then it all worked out. But now with the hoodies and the shirts and other things, and we're going to try to get a lot of our leather products on the website as well for those that want to maybe buy some stock belts or stock knife sheaths or something like that. We needed to dial in our shipping, so that has been updated. So now it will actually give you an accurate shipping cost when you go to checkout. When you put your address in, it'll actually give you an actual cost on what the shipping's going to be, and it won't just be a flat rate. So that's one thing, but we had to do that to be sure that we're not getting killed on shipping, because some of this stuff is heavier than just a cap, obviously. And I am researching the shipping for international. So you international customers, hang tight. I am trying to figure out exactly how to do that. I think now the way the shipping is set up on the website, I think now we can get it on there to where it will actually give you an idea of what it's going to take to get it to the UK or wherever it's going. So hang tight. We're all going to try to do that, but it's just kind of one of them deals that's complicated for the dumb saddle maker here to try to figure out how to do all that on the website. But I'm trying to get it done. Also, the other cool thing that we did, my favorite thing that we finally did on the website, which we've been having a bunch of people ask about and all that, and it's very complicated to find. Where's my card? I can't find the card. A lot of people email us pretty frequently about that. But now on the website, there is a cart at the very top right-hand corner of the website. You'll see a little shopping cart with a red number in there. If you don't have anything, the cart will be 0. But that is where the cart now will live. So anytime if you're on the website, the problem was if you put something in your cart and then you left the page, the view cart button disappeared. And the only way you could see it again was to add something to your cart. And then once you did that, you'd see it again, you could click on it. It's just the way the software is, and it was just had to figure out how to get around that. And then once you got into your cart, you could delete the extra item if whatever, but it was just a pain in the butt. So now there is actually a cart button on there, so you can peruse the website, bounce around, do all that, come back to it later. Your cart will still have your items in there. You can just click that and then go to checkout. Seems small, but that thing's been bugging me for like 2 years now, because it was frustrating, because not only for my customers who just wanted to purchase a cap or a pattern or whatever, they couldn't get back to their cart, but it was frustrating for me too, because I didn't know what was going on, because I don't buy stuff off my website. And so it took me a little while to figure out, because I thought, well, it's right there, but it actually does disappear when you leave the page. So anyway, we fixed that. There's now a view cart button, a little cart at the top right-hand corner of the website. Remember too, while we're talking about the website, if you have purchased patterns from us recently and you're waiting for us to mail them first, no, we don't mail them. They're instant downloads. So be sure to check your email. It may go to spam. If you knew that they were downloads and you knew but you never saw an email and you're just kind of waiting, thinking, well, maybe it takes a few days. Sometimes it'll go to your spam folder. Sometimes, I don't know, if you maybe put the email address in wrong or something like that. That's especially if you're trying to get logged in and you can't get logged into your account. It may be that you misspelled the email wrong, but just get with us and we can walk you through that and fix it. But if you haven't seen the email, or you don't know where it is or whatever, you can go to our website under Leatherworker Resources. There's a tab that says My Store Account. You can log in there using the email and password that you set up at checkout, and that will allow you to get into your little account. We don't store any credit card information. We don't handle the transactions. PayPal does. But what it does store is it stores your orders. So any of the downloads that you buy from us as far as patterns will always be stored right there. And so if you ever need to re-download them, if you've lost the file on your computer, you don't know where it is, or you printed it out and lost your hard copy, you can always hop on to your account, go there, re-download it, reprint it, and you're good to go. But they'll always be stored there. We've got some bigger updates I want to make to the actual structure of the website that you'll never notice. It's all behind the scenes, but there's some stuff I want to do. But that part of the website is something I don't want to go away. And that will make it kind of tricky to do some of those different things we want to do, because I don't want my customers to lose that kind of archive of all the patterns they've bought. So if you've bought a lot of patterns, they're all still in your account there, and you can go there anytime and re-download them. They don't ever expire. That's just something I want to be sure that you've got them. So we've got some people that buy every pattern that we put out there, and so in their account, I'm sure it's just stacked. It's got all the links to download every one of those patterns, and we want to be sure that they always have access to that, because computers crash, things happen, you lose files, you don't know where something is, you lose a hard copy of the puppy eats it or your kid throws it in the trash and you didn't know it. So there's always a reason why you need to go back. You don't have to go back to your email. You just hop on our website, go to your account, my store account, log in, and all your stuff will be right there. But that's enough boring talk. That's boring website stuff nobody cares about. All you want to do is get on there, get your patterns, and go build something. And that's what we're going to do this week. That's what we're going to do in 2021. I thank y'all so much for the support last year and the year before that and all that. Those that have been with us for a long time. We're adding, constantly thinking and adding new things and new resources to help you guys. And 2021 is not going to be any different. We're going to try to do as much as we can. We've got some cool ideas coming. As far as a podcast, we do have a podcast coming out. Hopefully this week and maybe this weekend. My producer will be working on that. And we're actually doing the interview Thursday morning. And so it's going to be a fun one. I'm excited about this one. It's another saddle maker, but there's a twist to it, and I think you'll enjoy the conversation. It's really cool, and we're going to have a lot of fun. So be sure, and I will post it on social media and all that stuff once it goes live. But hopefully by Friday, Saturday, maybe Sunday, it'll post, and then we'll start getting on a schedule. My producer's on my butt to do 2 interviews a week so that we can get ahead of ourselves. So I'm starting to line up a schedule now for folks so we can get those craftsmen on there. Lost Trade Podcast, Apple, Spotify. We're going to hit the ground running in 2021, so check that out. Thank y'all very much. I'm going to get back to work because Claudia's probably going to be here any minute. If I'm still jabbering with you, she's going to be upset that I'm not tapping away on some leather already. So I'm going to get at it. Y'all get at it. Have a great week. Sorry it's coming out Tuesday. Thank you very much.